Good morning. This is Morten from Inkish, and a couple of weeks ago I posted a short little message on LinkedIn saying that anybody who wants to talk to me is welcome to reach out, because I'm always both curious and I also think it's important to give airtime to not only the big vendors but also the small vendors. And today I have the pleasure of talking to David from Markzware. So good morning and welcome, David.
Good morning. Thank you, Morten, for having us, and thanks for Mary Gay for setting this up.
Yes, I mean, for sure. Last time you and I met online, that was during the COVID, where we had a wonderful talk about old Bibles and that you live in the Netherlands. And is that still a passion for you?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I just, the Justification of Johann Gutenberg. I still recommend anyone printing to read that. It's a novel based on factual information. And the Bible, I think you can still see it right there.
Yeah.
I just found a few months ago, like I said, it's an old family Bible from the 1800s, English Bible, and I find hairs and pins, and I found an old piece of letterhead in there, like this.
Oh, really?
Woven with an icon, sort of a watermark, and I still haven't figured out who made that, but I'm still anyway. I'm always finding something new in that Bible. It's amazing.
I was thinking maybe with the hair, you should make a DNA test and run it in MyHeritage, because it could be fun to see if you had like how widespread the Bible has been, like also geographically, right? That could be fun.
Wow, hey, that's a good idea, Morten. Yeah. And I found seeds in there and little parts of like bark or trees. I mean, so yeah, good tips.
Fantastic. As fun as it is talking about Bibles and findings, we have to talk something a little bit more serious today, right? Before we talk, because you're launching a new platform that we're going to talk about, but before we do that, Markzware has been around for quite some years, and maybe you should just tell a little bit about the history and how you got started, because essentially I think that you're still doing many of the same things, but the world has changed around it, right?
That's right. Markzware has been amazing at adopting, and we started out, and I guess it was the early '90s, basically. Patrick Marchese and Ronald Crandall, they got together. Pat had the need at the agency where he worked, Foot Cone and Belding, and Ron had the programming skills with PostScript, PostScript, and all that stuff. So, and they both worked at a racing forum, and they got together and they started their first products, which was basically flight check and file conversion tools, which we still do today, pre-flight and file conversion. And we're talking file conversion like, PageMaker to Quark Express and freehand to Quark Express. And that's how it all started out. And then as things shift and the market changes, it went from, InDesign to Quark Express, and that's where we still are today, actually. And there's just been so many different file conversion things we've done and still do, which really makes it interesting because we're still here today.
I mean, when you talk about these file conversions, that was actually way before Inkish. That was the first time I got in any contact and any knowledge about Markzware, because I was working at the publishing company and we used Quark Express for the first 5 years, and then we changed to InDesign. And then we wanted to reprint things, and it was in Quark, and we could not figure out how to do that. So that was that was in the early 90s, actually. I think we started that magazine in 92. So from 92 to 98, there was a period of time where we were aware of, I didn't know you, of course, but we were aware of your products and used the service from you. So that was amazing to think back of, because, today, I have a friend that used to work in a big project converting, these inlays from medical packaging from Quark Express to InDesign, where you need to be very, very certain that that everything is accurate.
The letter size, the font type size, and everything is perfect. Yeah.
So I guess that those kind of things is really also just as an example of a use case where Markzware is really valuable, right?
Yeah. How did you, it saved you a lot of time and hassle just by one click. It was more or less converted, correct? And that, yeah.
There was a few hiccups, but remember this was like early days for both Quark and InDesign.
Exactly.
So therefore there could be like, but it was like it saved like 95% of the time, and then you reviewed the document anyway. You would probably done that anyway. So I just remember this as that it was like, basically saved a deadline, basically, right? So that was like very important to us.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And medical stuff, and well, actually, any document that gets converted, they want it perfect, and that's where we get down to the point size, the H and the J's, justification, the the colors, everything gets converted over. And like you said, with medical stuff, there's certain very strict requirements they have to adhere to. So yeah, you better check after you convert. That's for sure. But it's a pretty good, it's pretty easy process.
And today, I mean, because if you look at the market today, I'm not saying that Adobe has a monopoly, but it's close, right? So I was just wondering, is there still like a huge need for these conversions between different formats, or has it widened also to be, more like consumer products, like we spoke about Apple Page, that is that also part of the conversion process today, or?
Right. Well, actually, the market is very, very interesting right now. When you look at Markzware, okay, we have a lot of printers in our portfolio, but a lot of our business is up the funnel and right up to creatives and freelancers and community churches and everything in between, right? So, and there the switch is on because Adobe is just too expensive or always has been for some of these way up. And for others, a lot of people are switching from InDesign and Adobe to alternatives like Canva's Affinity. Canva recently bought Affinity. And,
okay. I did not know. Okay.
Yeah. So Affinity is a low-cost creative suite type, creative cloud type of alternative with your InDesign, Affinity Publisher, and your Designer. And so it's a very interesting, very low cost, but it does more or less what needs to be done for the average user. So professionals still, of course, prefer InDesign. And so, yeah, we're getting a lot of people that want to go back and forth and around. And we get now Canva and, of course, Adobe Express, which is making huge leaps and bounds. Just at the Max show, they had some great new features and functions. And yeah, this whole online creativity is a whole new avenue and opportunity for printers as well. So it's very, very interesting.
When you do the conversions, for example, from let's say the types of applications that you just spoke about, I mean, often when you go to an application, you have export opportunities or save as opportunities. And would you say that your conversion tools is way better than when you have an application that, let's say, is capable of saving in a different format? Because I mean, I guess that you really look into the files, because when you have like the point to point, the color to color, and all these kind of things, I guess that you always have to look into let's say the file and understand what the intent was with the file as well, right?
Exactly. So what was interesting, last time we talked, we were in the middle of that pandemic, and we were busy totally rebuilding our engine to completely stand alone. So now we have completely standalone technology with APIs and the whole 9 yards, which is part of what the portal, which we're pre-releasing. So we see everything inside of the files like an X-ray. And so we read that in, but we can also write that out. And often we're writing out as IDML, which is an XML-based InDesign markup language, which is from Adobe themselves. But many tools will import IDML because it's an open standard.
Yeah, so, because I remember from InDesign, I'm using InDesign for our magazines, but as we don't publish so many magazines, I'm not like a very frequent user. But with the IDML format, that was also, what was it called? Adobe had this InDesign kind of online proofing platform where you didn't have to have InDesign, but where you could use IDML files for the same purpose. So basically, Markzware is basically taking all the formats that you get, read them, understand them, and then output them as an IDML format, which is essentially an XML file where you have the definitions made by Adobe, right? Or something like that.
Exactly. Right? And there's other export options as well. We go to PDF and we go to other things too. So, image formats, and there's other possibilities that we're working on as well. So, but IDML is like you said, Adobe's the king, and why why fight the king,
Yeah.
So that's why it says on the back of our shirt, we're here to help Adobe as well as other users like Canva or Affinity or whoever it is to act as a Switzerland of the industry to help people interchange formats so they can ultimately print them, right?
I guess it's the same because when we edit films, I know that you also like filming and editing. So when I have different editors because some editors are very good at, for example, the format that we're having right now, and some are more like creative for maybe more like teasers and short formats, that. So I guess it's the same with designers. They sometimes like Photoshop, and they sometimes like InDesign, and sometimes they like alternatives because they give them other options for working, and therefore, of course, there's a need for this conversion thing here.
Yeah.
Is it? You said that right now there's like a lot of opportunities in the market. Is it because it is getting more and more complex to basically swap and exchange files instead of using PDF, or is it more because people are... I think that also with Canva, the democratization of design is even further spread than it was in the past, right?
Yes, that's right, because they offer a very good free package, which anybody... my kids are using it, my wife is using it, and they give it away for free to all educational and nonprofits. So it's a very easy application, and they pretty much approve anyone who's, So this is really interesting. Sorry, what was your question again about the?
No, I was just wondering because you said it's an opportunity for Markzware right now. So I was just wondering because if you have more and more users in the market, obviously there will also be a bigger need for it. But and that was why I was just trying to understand.
Yeah, exactly. No, the opportunities, like I said, they're getting more and more. Now, of course, on the printing side, they're wanting PDFs, and for large commercial printers, they're getting primarily 99% or even 100% PDFs. However, which was just great at Printing United, because now we're sort of relaunching to go back into the printing market stronger with our new SaaS portal, is that the same problems, same pre-flight problems that existed 10, 15, even 30 years ago are still here today. And that printers are
we never learn, right, David?
We never learn, do we? Yeah, we want to have our early Friday afternoons and hit get to the weekend, and
we want our 72 DPIs, RGB color spaces, whatever we print, right?
and the average person printing, they don't really care. They just want to have it print decent. So this is what we learned at the Printing United, which we were invited there by Infigo, which was great. We have a partner solution with getting from Canva right into their web storefront, so they can adjust it in InDesign and then publish this. These sort of solutions are really, really interesting. But the average printer, and I'm talking about average small printer, print shop or sign shop, they're getting in all kind of files, Photoshop and Corel Draw and
PowerPoint,
PDF, TIFF files, and you name it. So they're on the front line of all the problems.
Does that mean that for example, when you work with Infigo, and I guess that you can work with other web to print platforms as well, does that mean that because I when I worked in the printing industry as a print broker and a printer years ago, I remember at the time that sometimes you get files that are, as you mentioned yourself, in different formats, but even sometimes when people are uploading to the web to print solution, you see strange formats and strange packages of things that you never think, okay, can this really be converted into something that are printable? But that is what you say, is basically by having the collaboration between you and Infigo, that basically means that if people upload anything that is supported by Markzware, it will be converted to something that can be printed. Is that the idea?
That is basically what we offer to anybody. And with Infigo, it's particular for flow going into their InDesign plugin for their storefront to make templates. So that printing customers of theirs that want to make templates, they can then get it into the InDesign environment, update the template with the tags that they need, and then it's ready to go. But the problem is these consumers and designers and people upstream are creating a lot in Canva or maybe Adobe Express in the future here, and these type of tools. And yeah, they're not really print ready. They don't have
Mm.
bleed set correctly most of the time, and there's a lot of problems. And that's where we, come in, try to help this flow
Mm.
go better.
Talking about your pre-release platform, is that, I'm just saying in quotation, just a move to being cloud-based, or does it offer any other changes that are significant, or?
Yeah, it's basically, well, maybe I can show it to you if
Oh yeah,
that's in a
yeah, that would
moment.
be
But
wonderful. That's
basically,
easier, right?
yeah, maybe it's because basically it's what we have now. It's the same engines, but
Mm-hmm.
then in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
The interface is different. It's even simpler, and
Mm-hmm.
we already have pretty simple interfaces, so it's really great. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll just give you a quick tour if you wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see
I
it
would
real
like to
fast.
see it. Yeah, please.
Okay, just share. So this is Mark's portal. Anyone can come here and sign up for free and give it a whirl, try it out. And we, support all these different file formats coming in. So whether it's Canva or Express or InDesign or Quark Express or Photoshop, whatever, and we export to various formats, including, of course, IDML, like I mentioned, which is most important for people wanting to do updates to their design and what have you. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the interface. It's real simple and easy, and you just take your file, and here's a Photoshop file, and you just
Mm-hmm.
drop it on the Marks portal.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a couple seconds, particularly for larger layouts, to
Of
work.
course. Yeah.
This is a 46 megabyte file, so it's
Mm-hmm.
actually going relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's drawing into preview. It
Okay,
gets
so
to
this is a
store.
Photoshop file that you are converting
Right.
to
And
what?
there's a Photoshop file that I've been working on from, I think I saw you,
Yeah, yeah,
last
we're
really
also at
saw
Atomics.
you
Yeah,
at Atomics, and that's our good friend Bernd Sipper, who I
yeah,
saw you just interacting with on LinkedIn yesterday.
that's true.
He's also amazingly busy.
Yeah, he is
But
definitely.
so this is the file, and you can get a preview of it, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
get different options, including
Mm-hmm.
file conversion. So we can
Mm-hmm.
convert this file to IDML, or
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, Adobe InDesign, or you
Mm-hmm.
can take it and go to other formats. But if we just say InDesign and we click convert,
Mm-hmm.
it will now take this Photoshop file and convert it for whoever it might be, a printer in this case, or another designer that needs to or wants to have it in Adobe InDesign.
And when you have, like, this is a brilliant example because what you get here is that, like in InDesign, where you have the photo as the background and then you have the text layer and then you have the logos placed afterwards, or is it, it's not just a flat file, right?
Right, that's right. So we extract all the images
Mm-hmm.
used in there at resolution used.
Mm-hmm.
So you see everything's in there, and then you just
Mm-hmm.
go in there, and there you get your InDesign file. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy keeps popping up my InDesign. So now you can get in. Oops, where did it go?
I can see you have
Yeah,
quite
you
a
go in
few
there. You can
files
edit.
open,
You can
so
Yeah, you can move your images around. You can do
mm-hmm.
whatever you need to do. Right? It's now
Mm-hmm.
fully. Oh, this is an interesting one. So that's an AI element.
Yeah.
Um, so just to sort of a little bit off topic, but if I take that same file and I drop it on our flight check
Mm-hmm.
2025, just coming out now with
Mm-hmm.
CS 2025 support, for all your Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign files, they're now 2025 compatible. But we have a cool thing in the ground controls under images. We're now checking also for generative AI.
Mm-hmm.
So if I switch from inventory mode to pre-flight mode,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see here we actually pinpoint that image up there
Mm-hmm.
is created with the AI, and we even see the prompt Rove LD lights. Because when I originally so all
Pretty
this
smart, right?
technology in the cloud is based on our years of desktop technology like Flight Check or PDF Marks or QXP Marks.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like the background there, so I added that up there. But so that's the depth we can check into, even
Mm-hmm.
seeing things that are quite
Does
actual.
does
And
that
now back to the cloud
also?
here. Just
Mm-hmm.
here you can see we can then switch between inventory report and pre-flight report, and we can generate these reports, and then you can download them and view them,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a full inventory. Or if you go back and do a pre-flight, and really this is quite basic at this time, and that's why we were so happy to be at Printing United to be able to get feedback from the printers, and basically heard that this is what they want, this is what they need, and you get a little score. You see everything used in the file and what is a problem based on the ground controls or pre-flight profile.
Cool.
So really, our invitation, to your watchers is to get more printers to sign up for this and tell us what they want. Do they want to get on the desktop of their customers and check various files, whether it's PDF or InDesign? I mean, we check PDF files as well, no problem. Drop them on the Marks portal and it just comes right in. So this was from the show. I always get hungry when I see this one. So that's basically the Marks portal in a nutshell. It's all based on our APIs.
Yeah. What I like about it is as you said yourself, it's a pretty simple user interface and very it supports all the files that you basically need for most of your work anyway, right? So but that is like super cool. And what is the business model? Is it per file or is it a subscription or how does it work? If let's say, I mean, I understand it's like a free test right now, but when you are ready, what is the deal then?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a monthly subscriptions, and the pre-flight's totally free right now, so you can sign up and try it for free. But the actual file conversions, when you actually convert to InDesign or to whatever, you have to pay per page, per document, and per page. So there's different packages, and you just choose the one that's right for you, and it's a monthly subscription that you can stop anytime. Yeah.
So it is like, I mean, it seems like a very convenient software first and foremost, but it also seems like a very friendly to your pocket, to your wallet entrance, because you don't have any startup fees, or you just sign up for it and then you get going. And then and with the APIs, is that also part of the portal, or you have to have a special, let's say, subscription or model when you use the APIs, or how does that work?
Right, APIs, you have to sign up for that, and that's on so that's only for, let's say, more power users. It really, we're getting these in very interesting contacts now, because there's just so many people need to convert, thousands of files every day from PDF to InDesign. That's one thing. Or, people with other files that need to get InDesign into IDML in an automated fashion. Someone else needs to just get PDF previews of all the files that come in. They just want to have, it's for thumbnails. They want to have PDFs, and they just need it real quick and easy, and file inventory. So we see everything using the file. So with the APIs, you can basically create your own pre-flight, device in your own cloud solutions, and everything's going cloud, of course, on the front end. So that's very, it's very, very, very interesting.
And what about, I mean, because now you say the front end, I mean, I guess that especially when you have something that is file related, sometimes people can be nervous. Do you need to upload a lot of data before you can get output? Because that could become a bottleneck in your production. But is that you offload some of the, let's say, the processing to the local client, or how should people be worried about that?
So you mean like, so now you're
I'm just saying that if you have, like, let's say, thousands of PDF files and you need to, let's say, convert them, right? They need to be uploaded to be converted, right? So that is...
Oh, that's right.
Of course,
that's right. So that, so that is a little bit of a problem with this sort of solution. So this is, like you said, for onesie twosies, or, just here and there using the service. Yeah. If you have industrial needs like that, we can handle that, but that would be via our APIs. And then it's local. Desktop product. Yeah. So you're serving both desktop products and cloud-based solutions. Right.
Basically.
We'll keep the desktop products as well. And like a nice interview I had just last week with Matteo. It'll be online later today. Matteo from one of the largest printers in Switzerland, and like he was saying, it's just a great tool, but for people that don't have 200 euros, and some designers might not want to waste that on a one print job, they can use this to do their conversion and get the file they need to deliver it to the printer, or touch it up and deliver it to them. So that's what it's all about, getting stuff to the printer and as quickly and as most efficiently as possible.
David, when we spoke together last time on camera, that was, as we spoke about, that was during the COVID, and that was different because that was more about you and more like personal things. But if you look at Markzware as a company from the early 90s until now, first of all, the market is, of course, changing. How do you see your progress in the nearby and maybe a little bit further distant future? Is there continuous need for what you do, and how do you see your own development in that context?
Yeah, it was a very difficult time for us through the pandemic, but thank God we're coming out of it, and the future looks very bright. And part of that is AI, like I just showed you how we can detect AI, but also since we can read all this unstructured data in all these disparate file types, whether it's InDesign or Affinity Publisher or Microsoft Publisher or PDF, we can then take that content, structure it for LLMs and GPTs and help people to further enhance their workflow with AI. So very, very exciting times, not only for like content and summarizing documents, of course we can do that, but also for like training your internal AI models based on, okay, here's all my design work from the last 30 years, scan it in with our engine. The AI can be trained on everything that they see from this company over the years and make its own engine more powerful to help create AI images that match the style of this company over the years. So that's just some of the there's a lot of very interesting things going on.
I was just about to say, watch out, because if it takes all the errors as well from the last 30 years, just imagine the amount of problems you're getting, right?
Well, yeah, and that's we used to say back at one day flight check will be obsolete, like we were half joking, but it's there's probably more pre-flight problems now because of all, like you said, all the disparate types of other applications you can use to create a file and the effects you can do, that not only for printing but also just for using. Like some things just won't display on certain screens or won't work on certain web environments, and yeah, you really have to be careful. Just because it looks cool doesn't mean it's going to output
That's true. Well, David, Markzware, thank you very much for your time here on English. It was wonderful also for once to get a little demo online. That is a little bit easier with software than with hardware, but it was truly great to see, and also super nice as usual to talk to you. So thank you very much, sir, and I hope to see you soon in person.
Yeah, and thank you, Morten, for the time and for this platform. Great job. Keep it up, and take some time off once in a while. Don't travel too much.
I try to avoid, but thank you for the advice.
Okay. Bye. All right. Take care, Morten.